Organizations are a reflection, whether you want them to be or not, about both the bright side and the dark side of their founders.
So I think self-awareness is one of the critical building blocks and tools that a leader has available, both to themselves as a resource and to the organization. So you can only take responsibility for that which you are aware of. With self-awareness, you increase the possibility and the probability that you will actually get the outcomes that you want.
The way that often that you deal with a situation blowing up in your organization, how you show up in that moment is the thing that your organizational culture will be born out of. The dynamic that a co-founding team or a senior team sets in the organization really does ripple through the organization. And if that dynamic is dysfunctional, those particular ripples and echoes end up being dysfunctional, and a lot of time and energy and money gets sunk and wasted into those dynamics in ways they wouldn't be if those dynamics were cleaner, more thoughtful, and more constructive. And a lot of the dynamics that we run into as human beings with one another are pattern dynamics that you can work with, that you can play with. The fundamental movement of maturation as we grow as human beings is being able to take that which we are subject to and make it object. Which means the things that, if you're having an experience of anger, for example, are you subject to the anger and just left feeling it, which gives you not very much recourse for action? Or do you have some capacity to look at it, see the variables involved at it, and choose a course within it that makes sense? You can still feel the anger, right, in the subject-object transition. It's not that you're not angry, but you can look at it. I'm angry because my feelings were hurt. I'm angry because I feel like my boundaries got violated. That's a very different thing than I am just angry. To have some sense making around why that is, and that even at a more sophisticated level, what your own role in that is. I'm angry because so-and-so did X to me, but I'm really angry because I didn't say what I needed to say in that particular conversation. There's a number of core polarities that play out at every cultural level, and the move that you want to build here is how do you maximize the upside of both of these and minimize the downside, and design how you interact with the system so that you have these, know what your early warning signs are if there's too much of this or too much of that, and use that to dynamically steer yourself so that you're navigating between these two perspectives in an organizational system. You want that concept, because if that buffer is too thin, if there's not enough cushion there, when things start fragmenting in the organization, you don't have much resource to draw on in your trust and ability to be with one another. So you want to very consciously grow that over time so that you've got some leeway and flexibility with what to do with that.
Their ability to be friends, good colleagues to one another, thoughtful partners is directly dependent on their ability to have difficult conversations with skill. So if I were going to increase their skill in any one thing, it would be practice at what the poet David Whyte calls the conversational edge of leadership, because that's where leadership unfolds moment by moment by moment. And that's, oddly enough, also how culture gets built moment by moment by moment.
The point of any of those models is not to box people up, but to use them in such a way that you really understand that people have fundamentally different even thinking and ways of even accepting information. Some people are very concrete thinkers, other people are very contextual thinkers, and if you don't understand that that's the lens that they're even taking information at, you can realize you're fighting about two very, very different things.